CNN. In the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the Industrial Revolution saw countless industries depart from the handmade era as machine-based manufacturing processes swept the globe. Architecture, as it always does, responded, and the humble warehouse evolved to accommodate this new type of industry. In cities such as Manchester, England, the distinctive cotton warehouse, for example, proliferated, with these imposing structures becoming physical markers of their time. In recent decades, however, many of these brick buildings are standing empty. But perhaps not for long. From the old spice warehouses of Singapore to the graffiti-covered derelict storehouses of Paris, industrial renovations are re-energizing metropolises worldwide. A before and after image of the warehouse hotel in Singapore. The hotel was once used as a storage warehouse during the height of the Singapore spice trade. Warehouse Renaissance. Warehouses, as we know them, were first built when nations were finding trade routes and building vessels that could go further, says Shuni Bose, an architectural historian. Trade increased by a tremendous degree during this time, and we needed larger, strong buildings to store the goods, says Bose. Strategically located by waterways and railways, warehouses also had big windows to allow larger materials to be brought in through them. These buildings were built very practically with one thing in mind: to get the goods into the buildings with a minimum amount of effort, says Bose. The neighborhood was a tough environment to deal with, but there was no doubt about the atmospheric quality of the streets and architecture, and once the market closed up, change came on explosively, he says. In all my time in New York, I've never seen a place transformed so completely in such a short period of time. The area now boasts of hundreds of shops, cafes, work and residential spaces, many located in old industrial buildings. It's a really fascinating mix of the old and the new, says Rose. The Les Magasins Généraux building in Paris before and after its restoration by Frederick Ewing. The old grain and flour warehouse was a favorite locale for graffiti artists before restoration began. Meffer and Marquand Abadi Hervé. You cannot find in the market another building as big as this, that has enough space for photo studios, recording studios, restaurants, etc. We can do a lot of different things with this space. The restoration of the Les Magasins Généraux took 8 years. Ewing was careful to retain the original features of the 1930s warehouse, including its concrete framework and large passageways. For architects, it's an opportunity to create new elements inside an old structure and keep alive the history of these amazing places, says Ewing.